Hello YouTube, this is Bluecat with my first impressions of Final Fantasy Type 0 HD remake for Xbox One. This is sort of how I'm going to do all reviews, as I'm going to do a first impression, give some gameplay in a Let's Play type format, and then come back when I feel I can really say what the game is worth and the quality of it to me personally. Um, be that at the completion of the game or just at the point where I sort of feel like it's not really going to drastically change beyond what it has already presented. But okay, back to Final Fantasy Type 0. Um, so Final Fantasy Type 0, it received a lot of hype. It's a very popular one when it was on PSP and was only released in Japan, as well as it came with the Final Fantasy 15 demo episode Deseus, I believe. Is how you pronounce that, which is done by the same creative director as Final Fantasy Type 0. And so I know a lot of people got it for the 15 playable demo, just because that is a big deal. It's the next numbered Final Fantasy entry, and it sort of already looks like it's very different from the previous ones. But so is Type 0, honestly. And I didn't know a whole lot about it prior to playing it. I knew, like I said, about the creative director, that it takes place in the Fabula Crystallis Novalis canon theme that 13 did, and I believe 15 is as well, and sort of has carried on thematics of the universe, the Lassie, the Fal'Cie, the Seath, crystals being a major aspect. So it'll be interesting to see how exactly it ties that in. I've seen a few Lassie characters. The characters you play as are actually not Lassie as far as I know. Why that is up for debate. Lassie in this are much more aware of their goals and their ordinance from the Fal'Cie, which are crystals in this, that maybe that had something to do with it. The questioning of what they needed to be doing wouldn't have existed in this universe like it did in 13, and that whole like conflict isn't really there. The main conflict so far in the thematics that the characters deal with is that when someone dies, the characters lose all memory of that person, or everyone actually loses all memory of that person, so that they all stay focused on the present and work towards a better future. However, they found a loophole, which I don't know exactly why that works or why their memory isn't erased from that, but if they leave behind their name on these dog tags essentially, then you know someone was there with that name, but they're no longer there. Whether or not it ever struck to them that someone could be fabricating these knowing tags is debatable. I mean, obviously, very early on, we see someone does actually die, and there is sort of a conflict going on with that. But it is a very dark universe. It's very grim. The militaristic aspects are very overt. It sort of feels like Full Metal Alchemist, Valkyrie Chronicles, something like that. Also, a little bit of touch of the Armored Core series in the way that the cutscenes are presented. They look sort of like found footage-ish historical documents. And it's just a complicated military drama, honestly. But the story is pretty good. The voice acting is a little off, which is weird considering I believe it is the Final Fantasy X voice acting team who were pretty good in Final Fantasy X. I feel even in the HD remake, it was not like amazing by any means at a lot of parts, but this sort of seems overdone quite often. exaggerated, and some of the word choice with the localization is not the best. They say things like to be followed by not really anything that would make sense in normal grammar. I'm trying to think of an example like to be hope when they're referring to hopeful, things like that. But that probably is actually the major negative aspect so far. One of the things, other than that, is when they brought it up to HD visuals, it's kind of muddy, but it does look good. There's a strong aesthetic feel to it. The lighting probably should have seen a little bit more attention because it really could be a fairly pretty game with better lighting. And that's sort of an issue I know won't be fixed. The voice acting later on may, as the plot sort of solidifies into being more about Class Zero, may come to be a little bit better because a lot of the voice actors in Class Zero are better voice actors than some of these weird, just side military characters. And then another thing is some of the controls are a little awkward. Menus you do with the D-pad, why it doesn't actually pause is sort of questionable. But that's a small complaint, honestly, compared to the camera, which can be wonky at times. And because locking on is such a big focus to doing like instant kills or like heavy critical damage, it kind of is challenging in some aspects because of the camera angle issues. But overall, I would say most of the challenge is legitimately there as it being a challenging game and not a weakness in the controls or just the mechanics. All of the members of Class Zero play very different, which is very fun. It's 14 characters in Class Zero currently, and they all have their own styles and stuff. The progression of them with the AP system is very good. I really enjoy that. Isn't a whole lot of decision making yet, but I mean, even now there are sometimes when I have to pass up abilities for a couple of level ups, or even 4 or 5 level ups before I can get those abilities because I made other choices. So later on, I expect to see way more having to pick and choose and sort of develop through that first playthrough, at least. I mean, with New Game Plus, obviously, you're going to be able to eke out a lot of more of the abilities. And the action and combat is really fun. The dodge mechanic is cool. The guard mechanics are a little odd, but maybe that's just because I don't get them. I like the mission structure in a sort of Dynasty Warriors-esque. It is a lot of fun, and you can add either support troops, which gain you more points, which is like a special reputation currency that you can use to buy gear, or you can pick up special tasks, which give you good item rewards and extra experience, I believe, if you're able to do them. However, if you're not, it'll kill your active protagonist. So there is a little bit of extra challenge there. I think that pretty much covers everything that I wanted to talk about in this preview first impression. But I'm really excited to play it. I know that I did say some negative things about it, but it is a very fun game already. Really excited to see more of it and hope to get some gameplay videos to you fairly shortly after this, so that you can sort of see what I'm talking about a little bit more. So thanks for watching. If you like this video, please subscribe to my channel, and as well as liking this video really helps me out get started. This is Bluecat signing out.